you guys. Welcome to my channel. I'm trying to do all these introductions and stuff now, like in the video. So today we are riding a 1990 GB500. Now this is a 90s baby. This bike just sounds cool. So it's definitely a cafe racer style. Has that brat. I'm a big fan of the way this motorcycle sounds. And it is only a 500, but man, it's a fun bike to ride. But this one was only made for export from Japan for 2 years, 1989 and 1990. And it wasn't well received at the time, which is interesting to me because now they're super, maybe not necessarily super sought after, but they're rare, and people will say, oh, is that a fully custom bike? And you'll say, nope, this is a stock bike. I was originally, when I first started riding, I was very scared to ride this bike because it leans over. But I can tuck my knees, which I can't do with a lot of taller, sportier bikes. But I can tuck my knees so it makes the leaning way less aggressive. But I just wanted to take this one out today because the weather was nice and it's not freezing. Oh, such bad road right there. I never saw one before we bought this one. Never saw one in person. And I'm just gonna be going under like any bridge I can find so that I can rev my engine because it just sounds so cool. I scared that person. So this is a quintessential cafe racer, which now people, chop bikes up and make them into this. This one came like this stock. Trying to get hit by a car. So I am in Franklinton. So this is definitely an area that the cafe racer motorcycle would have been very popular. So as we come into downtown, that's Memorial, Kosai. Oh, I left my jacket unzipped. It's cold. But it's real pretty. And they've just built this part of town up called the Scioto Mile. The city realized that an area of town north of here, the sewage was just being dumped into the river. Now that meant that people who were fishing in the river were getting fish that were not great, and there were dead zones in the river. The parkland that's along the river, and people who like to kayak and all that stuff, and it just, looked bad for the city. So they fixed some sewer drain problems. They took out the miniature dams that were not really helping any kind of mediation on the riverfront, and that caused the river to flow its more normal course, which is way more narrow than it had been before. Parkland was made more obvious, so you can see that it's a lot wider. These bridges took years to be built. The next place we're going to go is actually just a little bit further down the river, but I just want to take a photo right here too. I always want to take a picture in all of the places I can possibly take a photo. Almost got myself hit by a car. It's totally fine. It's fine, I don't know.
I have a bicycle and I take the same picture.
I'm sorry?
I said I have a bicycle and I stop everywhere and
That guy, if you couldn't hear, was saying I have a bicycle and I stop and I take that picture every time. So at least I didn't get yelled at for being in the middle of the road, which happens all the time. It's definitely not going to make me stop taking pictures every time I'm somewhere. So this bridge has this deer. There's a couple of those deer on the Scioto Mile. all made by the same artist. They're all meant to look a little more human than they are in real life. This bike is definitely great for this kind of like city riding. It's the Cafe Racer in general is named for the, you know, hopping from cafe to cafe. In London, there's the Ace Cafe, and there is an Ace Cafe in Florida, which we've actually been to. We're actually going to turn right into what is called the Scioto Autobahn, which is connected to the Scioto Mile. It used to be the police impound lot. I think it's a much better use of the land to be a park. Oh, and a puppy. So many puppies. So many puppies. So I'm gonna park. Boop, boop. What's interesting about this prairie land, it is all like potential seed communities here, which means that after they pulled out all the cars that were being impounded here, when it was the police impound lot, things just started to grow because the seeds were still underneath the ground, kind of waiting for their opportunity. I think I should just hush up and put music here with this beautiful scenery. Are you kidding me? If you go all the way to the back, there's a pretty big dog park back here. I mean, it looks like they've expanded it since the last time I've been here. Oh, that's a lot of gravel. We're not gonna go over there all the way, but I'm gonna try to catch this bike with the city and, oh, hi, bumper, and the train going by. There's a couple of like beginner twisties, if you will. If you're learning how to take a little bit of a curvier road, it is only 20 miles an hour through here, so it's a good place where you're not going to be like holding anybody up. This park is, one, it's obviously downtown. It is, I don't know if it's considered downtown proper, but to me, I'd consider this downtown. And this particular bike is more of a city bike. So this is that other side. And with this bike, I feel like I do need to squeeze the tank to take the pressure off of my wrists, which is one of the reasons I don't particularly like to ride any long distance on any bike that you have to lean over. The foot position is not too far back, so I don't feel like I'm like really having to reach back for them. So my big issue with kind of any bike that you lean forward on is that it makes your feet go back far. This one, they're still kind of pretty much mid controls. The whole bike is pretty low. I mean, I'm 100% flat-footed on this bike. So when I put my knees up, my 29-inch inseam legs are still able to tuck my knees on the bike. It's not like it's too small for some people because it's the right size for me or anything like that. It's not a giant engine either, but it's a fun bike to ride. Really fun to ride in corners. I must oblige, especially when a bike sounds this good. So, thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time. Bye!